If you look at Solana, it's cooled down a little bit, but Sol is up 64,161% since its ICO. And now we do see similar potential building up in a similar project by the name of SEI. Check this out. 45% gain in only 1 week. You actually may remember that name because they had just an awful airdrop mess about 2 years ago. Most of the market forgot about them. A lot of people probably haven't forgiven them for that whole kerfuffle. But the fact is they've recovered. They seem to have learned their lesson, and they're now coming back with a lot of momentum, a lot of positive updates. And arguably, it actually kind of even mirrors Solana, which had, of course, its own resurrection, its own comeback cycle. Nothing as dramatic as what happened with Solana and FTX, but there are some parallels there. And as a potential top RWA chain, real-world assets, the fact is that SEI also parallels Solana in a lot of other ways this cycle. We're going to be deep diving into this project. We feel there's a lot of potential here. TGIF, welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. As always, I wish you all the best of luck if you choose to invest. I hope you're going to encounter a lot of prosperity and good fortune with the rest of this bull cycle. But I am not a financial or investment advisor. Keep that in mind, and also remember that this video, by extension, is not official financial or investment advice. So if you're like us, you probably maybe have noticed that the price of SEI has been doing pretty well lately. As I write this right now, we're sitting at just over 29 cents, up just under 10% on the day. And that's a good 35% higher than it was just a few days ago. One of the big catalysts here for the price of SEI and the jump was the fact that there's stuff going on in the state of Wyoming. That's where the most Bitcoin-friendly senator, Cynthia Lummis, comes from. That's the name that we've talked about. Hopefully you know about it. And then also Wyoming announced back in May that it's going to be issuing its own fiat-backed stablecoin managed by the state. It's going to be called WYST. Now, that fact alone doesn't really affect SEI in any significant way. But after that came the testing of different blockchains to issue the new stablecoin. And this is where the project in question excelled, because SEI is actually one of the top finalists for platforms to issue and manage WYST. And honestly, and candidly, this kind of came as a surprise. The surge in price soon followed. Wyoming is basically telling the world that SEI has a much bigger, better offering than people, I guess, were originally thinking. That said, don't let the SEI bulls and the shillers out there confuse you. People are jumping on the bandwagon right now. Some of them have, questionable motives. Wyoming has not decided anything yet. SEI, like I said, is a finalist, and they could be approved, but that's not the status just yet at the time of this recording. Aptos and Solana are also finalists. They are also being considered. They are also in contention, so nothing right now is a sure thing. But others looking to launch stablecoins or CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, are probably now at least going to want to consider SEI in ways that they haven't before, because this does set a precedent for a smaller project like SEI. And regardless of Wyoming's decision, whatever they choose to do, it's going to be super bullish for SEI going forward. We've got a new project at Altcoin Buzz that we're very excited to be sharing with you. Check out the information in the description of this video. That's where you can register and find out more. Once again, check out the description. So like I said, while the main catalyst for the recent growth in price was this news out of Wyoming, another reason that SEI is in the green, and significantly so, is the fact that its ecosystem is growing as quickly and as aggressively as it is. As I record right now, SEI has a TVL, a total value locked, of $591 million. That places it, as you can see right here, at number 16 among all chains. That is not bad, and there's still lots of runway left. There's still quite a bit of room to grow. Leading protocol and AMM Yay Finance is the clear leader. They have over 330 million, or 60% of all TVL on SEI. And this, by the way, is where you can earn a pretty nice 9.53% APY if you choose to lend your USDC. That's better than a lot of protocols out there, but not in the realm of kind of beyond explanation, too good to believe kind of thing, as we saw with Terra Luna and some others out there. This is still in the realm, I guess, of reality. But if you're a degen and you have that itch, there's a place for you as well. It is called Yaka Finance. With over 8 million unique active wallets, it's actually one of the fastest growing EVM chains. Only Base, as of right now, is growing faster. And they, of course, have the backing and the support of Coinbase to help them out. So that is pretty impressive. In fact, looking at this list here in more detail, you see as a financial app chain, SEI is not really just preparing for the huge RWA wave that's coming. They're creating all the necessary tools and platforms that TradFi, traditional finance, needs. And that includes stablecoins, but also yield aggregators, derivatives for the traders out there, liquid staking, and a lot of other cool stuff too. And so to sum it up, SEI really does seem to be putting in all the prep work right now. They've been doing it for a while. To a certain extent, they're starting to be rewarded. They want to create a seemingly full financial app chain experience. That's going to be both for crypto natives and, like I said, for the TradFi users out there. If you've tried using SEI so far, maybe one of its ecosystem projects, let me know about your experience in the comments below, good or bad. I'd be curious to hear your feedback. But can SEI be in any way compared to the Solana of this 2025 cycle? Of course, SOL was the darling of the last altcoin bull cycle, up from $14 in March of 2021, $14 to $259 before all of that mess with FTX came out. That's approximately a 20x in one cycle. Not too bad. Is SEI going to do that? Just right off the top, I'm going to say probably not. Okay, just to temper expectations here and keep things reasonable. If we consider the market cap here at 1.6, just over $1.6 billion, that's where it is today. That would put it, if we did a 20x, at about $32 billion. Quick math. I think that's right. That would put it in the top 8 above where Tron currently sits at the moment. And look, say what you want about Tron. We've actually been covering it a little bit more recently. They have real product market fit in terms of emerging markets for USDT transactions. That's unlike most crypto projects, sadly. So I would argue, in fact, that SEI will not do a 20x this cycle. I think that's very unlikely, but the ingredients could be there for a nice run. Maybe a 3x, maybe a 4x, maybe a 5x, a 10x on the more optimistic end of the prediction here. I think they can reasonably do a 3, 4, or 5x if the following happens in particular. First of all, RWA, or real-world assets as a sector, has to continue to grow into the trillions of dollars as different companies become more and more involved, including BlackRock, for example. The market is going to want or need a reasonable big cap alternative in RWA to Ondo. We've been showing Ondo as much love as anybody else, but there are other RWA chains out there, and some diversity, some competition in the sector, and some attention diverted away from Ondo would probably be a healthy thing. Also, if SEI cracks its all-time high of $1.14, that was from March 2024, if it does, it very likely is going to go parabolic, of course, and that's going to be price discovery mode. That alone would be a 3 or a 4x. If SEI wins one or more stablecoin or CBDC issuer businesses bids, it doesn't have to be Wyoming, but that would certainly speed things up and enhance its reputation. If deregulation or smarter but less regulation comes out of the United States, specifically in the area of tokenizing U.S. treasuries, well, by extension, SEI would be one of the biggest beneficiaries besides Ondo if that were to happen. So it kind of comes down to how you see things unfolding, how you see the near and medium term future. If you believe one or more of those conditions is likely to happen, then maybe you already are, but if not, you probably should be bullish on SEI. It's been, building quietly for about 2 years now, and the results of all that work are starting to come to light. It's not too late to get on board. It's certainly not a micro cap, like I said, $1.6 billion, but as I also said earlier, lots of runway left, lots of potential, lots more room to grow.